In the year 2000, Lexus was the best-selling luxury car brand in America, beating out Mercedes, BMW, and Cadillac, just 11 years after launching its very first car. That first car was the Lexus LS400, considered by many to be the first real Japanese-built luxury sedan, and it was a car that entirely disrupted the American luxury automotive industry. Behind its success was a bold bet from Toyota, and one that would completely rewrite the rules of the American luxury car market. If you clicked on this video, I'm gonna assume that you're already aware, but in case you didn't know, Lexus is the luxury division of Toyota, initially established in 1989. Now, obviously Toyota had already been selling cars in America, but their reputation wasn't necessarily of luxury. It was affordable, economical, and reliable cars, not luxury. But it was around this time that pretty much all major Japanese auto manufacturers were trying to break into the luxury market to compete with the American car companies and the German car companies. And out of all the Japanese companies that tried, Toyota was the one that really successfully did it. Although not the first, but we're going to get into the specifics. And contrary to popular belief, they didn't just take an already existing Toyota and slap a Lexus badge onto it. During the 1980s, the US car market was experiencing drastic changes. A wave of consecutive crises hit the American automotive market. You had the 1973 oil crisis, then new fuel and economy regulations getting put in place during the 80s, and lastly, declining build quality from GM and other domestic manufacturers. All these factors severely weakened Detroit's biggest automakers. Tides gradually started to turn in favor of imports from Germany and Japan. Compared to their American counterparts, Japanese and German cars were more reliable, fuel efficient, and practical. Obviously, this was really problematic for the administration at the time. They couldn't have a foreign import outselling domestic brands in their own market. So in 1981, the Reagan administration implemented a voluntary export restraint, or VER. This was an agreement with Japan that targeted all imports, but primarily focused on automobiles. It basically put a cap on the amount of vehicles that Japan could import to America, which was roughly 1.68 million cars. This would serve as a catalyst for Toyota, Honda, and Nissan to open their own manufacturing plants in the US, but more importantly, it meant that Japanese automakers had to get creative in order to survive. The idea was simple: sell higher margin luxury vehicles to be able to extract more profit per unit under the new existing import cap. This is how the idea for Lexus began. Simultaneously, Japanese automakers were facing growing threats at home. BMW had just entered Japan's automotive market in 1981, and by 1987, it was Japan's top-selling foreign brand with over 15,000 units sold that year. The market demands were clear. People craved luxury, and if brands didn't upscale soon, foreign competitors would beat them to the punch. So interestingly, Honda was actually the first Japanese automaker to make the luxury brand pivot for the American market. They launched Acura in 1986 with two models, the Integra and the Legend. These were loosely based off of the original Honda models, and they both targeted luxury US buyers. They saw major success. In 1987, they outsold Mercedes and BMW in the US, with a total of 109,000 units sold. During that same time, Toyota was taking notes and making their plans for the jump into the market. In 1983, Toyota chairman Eiji Toyota convened a secret meeting with the company's top executives, engineers, and designers. He posed a really simple question to his team: can we create a luxury car to rival the world's best? It was at that moment that sparked the birth of Toyota's Project F1, the company's ambitious plan to build a flagship vehicle from scratch that could take on the global luxury automotive industry. F1 in the name stood for flagship, and 1 stood for number 1, or the first model. And Toyota went absolutely all in on this project, allocating more talent, resources, and manpower to this project than anything else that had come before. 1,400 engineers, 2,300 technicians, 60 designers, hundreds of support staff, and a total budget of roughly 1 to 3 billion US dollars. This model would later be known as the LS400. As the car neared completion, Toyota knew it needed a distinct brand identity. After exploring over 200 different names, they landed on Lexus. The name broke down into 3 parts: L for luxury, X for export, and US for United States. And their targeting demographic was really clear: 45 to 60-year-olds in the United States who earn $100,000 per year or more. And Toyota was so committed to understanding their target buyer for this vehicle that they sent 5 automotive designers to Laguna Beach in California for research purposes. To truly understand the lifestyle of their buyers, these designers rented luxury cars, dined upscale, and lived lavishly. Not a bad day to be a Lexus employee if you ask me. This research helped shape the final model. The philosophy behind the production of the LS400 was one of no compromise. Every single little detail was meticulously reviewed. A new engine was developed, an all-aluminum 4-liter V8, allowing the model to achieve a top speed of 155 miles per hour and 25 miles per gallon, a significant improvement over the gas-guzzling German and American luxury vehicles. Rigorous testing was performed, 2.7 million miles worth of testing, 450 prototypes were built, and 300 extra final inspections were done on the LS400 over the standard Toyota models. After years of testing, the new model was ready to go, and it launched at the 1988 Los Angeles Auto Show. Its initial price was $35,000, $30,000 less than the equivalent Mercedes S-Class. Market reception was skeptical at first, but quickly it very much grew in favor of the new brand, and sales absolutely took off. Reviewers praised the ride quality, quiet cabin, agility, and performance of the new car. Between 1990 and 1994, Lexus sold a total of 165,000 units, way above their forecast. And competitors took a hit. Mercedes saw an 18% decline in sales, Audi saw a 21% decline, Porsche saw a 48% decline in sales, and Cadillac saw a 25% drop in sales. Customers were absolutely blown away by the new brand and the model. And the rumored story goes that Cadillac engineers from GM got their hands on a model, took it apart, and they concluded that such a car couldn't be built using their existing manufacturing methods. So what came next after Toyota achieved one of the most successful brand launches in automotive history? Over the following years during the 90s and the early 2000s, Lexus doubled down on their success. They released tons more models, including the performance-focused SC line, appealing to younger, more style-conscious buyers, and the smaller and slightly sportier GS, eventually even expanding to the growing luxury SUV market, including the LX and the RX, their very first luxury crossover SUV. And since the 90s until now, Lexus has expanded their offerings, including hybrids, performance models, and even more SUVs. The brand is undeniably a staple of the American automotive market at this point. In recent years, they've really taken off. Sales in 2024 reached 345,000 units, on par with competitors like BMW, which had 371,000 units, and Mercedes, which had 324,000 units. Based on these volume numbers, I think it's safe to estimate that total sales for Lexus totaled around 15 to 20 billion in 2024. So it's safe to say that their $1 billion bet in 1990 really paid off. The Lexus origin story is a masterclass in ambition, discipline, and excellence. Toyota didn't just stumble their way into the American luxury car market, but they studied it obsessively and they built an extremely strategic brand just for it. With over $1 billion invested and thousands of engineers, and nearly 3 million miles of testing, the LS400 wasn't just a rebadged Toyota. It was the result of relentless problem solving, craftsmanship, and dedication to a mission. It's a strong lesson from Toyota in understanding your target customer, in paying meticulous attention to all the small little details that create a final product, and in having the discipline and patience to build something truly world-class from the ground up. Thank you for watching Heavy Signal. My name is Nick. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more business-related content like this, definitely consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next video.